Hi guys, Chris and PJ here live in our favorite place on earth, the Dream Giveaway Garage. Very special day, PJ.
Very special day. We're excited about this one today.
Absolutely. So, we give away so many amazing prize packages here at Dream Giveaway, and it's ever so rare to be able to even know who the original owner of a classic car is. And then, even if we know who the original owner is, to be able to get them on the phone with us on a live video chat and to talk about the experiences. And then, if the car is so special, like this Oldsmobile 442 W30 right behind me here, and the story behind it, this is one of the most magic moments we've ever had in the Dream Giveaway Garage. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Dick Haas and his daughter Nancy, who are joining us all the way out from Arizona for this live video chat. Hi, guys. How are you today?
Hi. Hi, everybody.
Just great. Hi, Nancy.
Hi.
Hi, Richard. You're coming out looking good there, right, PJ?
Yep.
Good, good. Richard, what do you see behind me?
I see a beautiful Oldsmobile. It looks like about, what was it, like a 67 or?
Richard, if you don't know what year this Oldsmobile is, I'm not sure who does. After all,
no, it's 1967.
That's right. Richard is the original owner of this 442 W30. Richard, for months we've had people that asking us questions about the car, and so I'm going to convey some of those questions to you, and I'm going to ask you, and just feel free to help us out on the answers and any stories that you might have that you feel that you can share with us. Does that sound good?
All right. That sounds great.
Okay, PJ, who's watching us today for this special feed? Okay, we don't know who's out there watching, but we will in a bit. So, Richard, one of the most, and to me and you, it seems like a silly question. They go, how can it be a 442 if it has an automatic transmission? You're the original owner of this car. You worked for Oldsmobile. You worked at the Proving Grounds. You special ordered it. Please, will you set the record straight?
Yes, I did work at the Proving Grounds. I started working at Oldsmobile Division in Lansing, where the vehicles are made. Started out in doing little odd jobs if people didn't show up. I had to learn how to do what they were doing and work there. And I'd work there until I got a replacement, etc. And the last job that I had before I went to the Proving Grounds was loading 4 Oldsmobiles on a train, on a boxcar. It put 2 up on a 45-degree angle, and then you could get 2 underneath them. And one of the co-workers asked me if I'd cover for him for about a half an hour, etc. And I said, well, let's talk about it. What are you going to do? And he said, I hear there's a Proving Grounds and they're going to hire some drivers. So I said, well, just get right over there. And when you get back, tell me where it is, because I'd like to try that myself. At the time, I was really interested in high performance. And I played in a dance band at that time on weekends. And the drummer owned a little race car for Circle Track. And he asked me if I would like to go to the next race. I said, certainly I would, yeah. And on the way back, he asked, how did you like that, and I said, well, I really didn't see anyone that I didn't think that I could go faster than them. He said, you want to try it next Sunday? And I said, certainly. So that got me into the action and the fun you can have, and always I was always in high school and after either motorcycles or car. I had one that would go pretty good, just racing local people and playing with the policemen in Fowlerville where I was growing up.
Hey,
But
Richard, let me interject just a moment. Move a little bit to your right, will you? You're just slightly off a camera. We're trying to get you back centered in the camera.
oh,
There you go. Now we
okay.
can see you. Okay, Nancy, keep the
Yep.
camera right. No, a little bit to your right. There you go. You got it. Okay. Now we can see you good. Thank you so much. Good.
Yes,
So you've
sorry
got your
about
job
that.
at the Milford Proving Grounds. I have a couple of quick questions from you from our studio audience. So let's see.
Yeah.
First question is from Roger, from Larry West. Do you wish you still own this incredible Oldsmobile?
I certainly do. I certainly, yeah, I certainly do. That was a wonderful experience with that vehicle, and I purchased this. We could purchase vehicles at a discount, and so and actually, when I got the job at the proving grounds, I was a driver, for the test vehicles. And when I interviewed with Carl Shook, who was the head person there at Oldsmobile, and I thought that I'd impress him, so I told him I was driving a little circle track car over at Owasso, and he said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" He said, when you're driving at the proving grounds, you may have to go for 20 seconds or a half hour at 30 miles an hour and then stop for 15 minutes. I said, I could do that. He said, well, no racing. But actually, he was a little pleased. I'll tell you a quick story. Pontiac had a gentleman that was supposed to be the fastest driver there, and we had a banked oval. Now there's one that's 5 miles long, but anyway, we raced each other one evening, and he went up to the garage and he got everything that he could get a hold of that went fast, and he couldn't beat the car that I had. It was a vehicle that they were testing for Baker. He was going to run NASCAR for Oldsmobile, Buck Baker, and there was no way that he could have beat me anyway, But
That's what I like to hear.
But at any rate, I had a note. I was hourly at the time, and I had a note on my time card that said, "See Carl Shook before you go home." And it was an interesting conversation because he was a real gentleman, and he invited me in, invited me to sit in the chair so we could talk, and he said, I heard, or I understand that there was a race that went on the big oval track last night. He said, "You know anything about that?" And I couldn't lie to the man. He got me the job, and I said, "Yeah." I said, "I know about that." And he said, "I also heard it was an Oldsmobile and a Pontiac." And I said, "Yes, that's true." And he said, "I also heard that it was you driving the Oldsmobile." And I said, "Yes, sir." And he said, "Did you beat him?" And I said, "Yes, I did." He said, "Well, good for you." But he said, we had a conversation, and that didn't fit in with the conversation we had. But anyway, it was a great time for me to work in the auto industry, and as I was a driver, and then a mechanic, and then an inspector, and finally got to be on what they call special test, where a new Oldsmobile would come out and they would put it on a schedule that would result in 100 miles of test driving, and so I was just a driver, and then, like I say, I was an inspector and a mechanic, and then I went on what they call special tests. So you're doing actual testing, fuel economy, brake stops, etc. And it was a wonderful experience. And when I got on what they call special tests, you never know what they were going to ask. And at one time, the engineers and Oldsmobile upper management would hear there was a problem out in the field. And so they would duplicate it. They would want to duplicate it and see, exactly what the cause was or whatever. And there was only one test that I refused to do. There was a time when they were having a problem with car catching on fire when it was being driven. And so we had to locate the source of the fire. And so actually we drilled a little hole in the carburetor bowl, and I could open that up and with a Bowden cable and let the car catch on fire, and we had yeah.
That was the job, to make the car catch on fire.
Yeah, just testing what originated, what caused the fire. And actually we figured that out by putting the car in a tunnel where it's a road where you got road going over the top and tunnel going underneath, and we got a real high-speed camera and replaced the metal in the hood so you could look down on the engine, and that's when they found out that the carburetor was a problem, of course, gas and heat of the engine, and so they zeroed in on what really caused the fire, and obviously, took care of everything so it would never happen out on the road again. But yeah, we had a lot of things like that. But I got to work on the particular air intake that the Oldsmobile that you're giving away, my old one. It has two inlets going right into the, giving it air. I think we measured that in inches of water. It's really quite a bit less than what you would expect, but it certainly was a help in performance for sure, and it went into production. But
let me ask you a couple questions on behalf of our
yeah.
audience. Did Oldsmobile build this car for you with an automatic transmission?
Well, kind of. Ted Lucas was our chief engineer, and they wanted to be involved in racing and NRA, and anyway, we lost our power here, I guess. Are you there?
Yep, we can hear you.
We can hear you just fine, Richard. Thank you, sir.
Okay. All right. So anyway, yeah, that was really
we lost your video. But
Yeah.
we can hear you. Why don't you try to get your video back, and we'll listen to you.
Okay. Well, it was really a privilege and a lot of fun besides to be working there at the proving grounds and working on things that were performance oriented. And then, obviously I had to go out and try it in real life. And I first started with a year before car when they come out with 3 2 barrels. And I campaigned that uh, quite a few of the drag strips, and had a lot of fun with it. And I'll send you a picture when I get back to Michigan, where that 66 with the 3 2-barrels, I took some test weights from the proving grounds. They're little bags, 25 pounds apiece, and so I put them in the trunk when it was intermission at it was at Milan, and I did a big wheelie. I took the front shocks loose and got a pretty nice wheelie out of it right there at the lake.
In this car I'm sitting in, you did a wheelie
In that car?
No, not that car. It was car before that.
Oh, the 66. Okay.
The 66, yeah. Yep. But I had a lot of fun with that very car because, at the proving grounds, you're always doing new stuff, and that was always interesting.
Sure.
And today in our modern cars, modern Oldsmobile and Chevrolet and everybody else, well, Oldsmobile's out of it now, but a gentleman by the name of Art Weedman had worked for Hydromatic, and he became an Oldsmobile employee, and he was working on transmissions, and way back then when I had the 442 that you're giving away, we did a lot of special things together, and he had a 6-speed transmission way back then. Wow. And we put a 6-speed transmission in that.
And automatic.
NHRA would let me run it, but it wasn't legal, so I could make runs, but I couldn't eliminate anyone, because it wasn't legal. But it was so fun to go down there with a 6-speed. I even took it to Indy and raced it down there.
What's the best speed? What's the best ET you had in this car right here?
The what best speed?
Yeah, best ET.
Best ET.
I cannot remember, but I could probably, if I'm in Arizona now, but I do not recall. I just don't recall. But the following year, I ran a stick shift and an automatic, and they were painted green. And the automatic, I think we just had regular automatic transmission in that. But anyway, when we set it up so when you went in the lane ready to go, I could hold the brake and hit the gas, and the thing would jump up just like a spider, like the old Chryslers used to do. Had a lot of fun with that, and I wished I'd have known that when I had the black one, but you learn as time goes by. But it was all kind of fun, and
Richard, I have one last question for you for today. I thought that we'd get this whole call wrapped up, but I think we're going to have to make this a 2-parter. So we've got one more question for today. I hope you can make time for our audience to join us again when you get back to Michigan, or if you're not doing anything tomorrow, maybe we can spend a few minutes with you. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what can the winner expect when they turn the key to your original factory drag racer for the first time and they take it down the road? What advice do you have for the winner of this car?
That is a very good question. I think they'll be quite surprised at the acceleration from 0 to whatever they go. And I don't know. Does the glove box have any lettering on it yet?
Yes, it does. Got your signature. Your autograph is on there.
Yeah. And what does it say beside that?
Oh, what's it say right beside there? Drive fast.
I'll tell you what. Yeah, it
take
says drive fast.
drive
It
fast
says
and take lots
drive
of
fast
chances.
and take lots of chances.
Well,
So,
there's the
so
answer.
I would advise that they didn't really do that out on the street. You know, maybe go to the drag strip with the car and have some fun. That would be my suggestion. You know.
Well, Richard and Nancy, thank you so much for taking a few minutes with us today in the Dream Giveaway
Yeah.
Garage. We're going to give you a call after we conclude this live video. We'll see if we can
Sure.
set up a part 2 for our audience. Again, everybody, what a magic moment here in Dream Giveaway, meeting the original owner of this Oldsmobile 442 W30 car, Richard Haas and his daughter Nancy. And they're so excited that one of you lucky people have the chance to win this incredible piece of General Motors and Oldsmobile racing history. It's a legend. We can't wait to give it away. Richard, let's talk very soon. Let's give them a round of applause, everybody.
Very nice.
We'll see you guys
Well,
next
thank you.
time.
I enjoyed it myself, and the car looks beautiful. Looks just as good as the one that come off the show run or out of the showroom. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. We'll see you guys next time. More great fun, more great action, more great grand
All
prize.
right.
And original owner of this 442 W30. It only happens here in our favorite place on earth, the Dream Giveaway Garage. We'll see you guys tomorrow.